Hi, I'm Crystal. Today's project is a party invitation using a pirate treasure map. I'm sure this was probably intended as a kid's card stamp, but I really enjoy it for party invitations. So I stamped it in hybrid ink and I stamped 4 times. And now I'm getting my watercolor ready. These are Daniel Smith Try It dots, and you can get a set of, I think, 66 dots for 10 bucks. And I was just using them straight off the card, but I got a little kit made by Daniel Smith that came with DVD instruction. They're still available at dickblick.com if you have a DVD player. I'm not sure they're really value for money, even severely marked down. But the one thing that I learned off the DVD instruction that was useful to me is that apparently the official advice from Daniel Smith is to cut that watercolor dot card and then drop the card, paint and all, into your palette and then rehydrate the paint. And so I started doing that with the dots, and it does work a lot better. I had no idea, so I hope that tip is helpful to somebody. I know these Daniel Smith dots are included in card kits sometimes. I've seen them, I think, in Hero Arts kits, and I think maybe a Simon Says stamp kit. Certainly the subtleties of the paint are lost on me. I'm not at that level of watercolor paint. So I have sped up the painting because we are going to abuse this painting in a minute. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that this particular stamp is discontinued, but there's a very similar stamp, or in the same theme, the same general idea, that is available from Simon Hurley through Ranger, that is currently on clearance at Scrapbook.com. So I hate to be an enabler if anybody's trying to be on a shopping hiatus, as I am, but it's a very cute set, and I think it's down to $7. At least when I did the link earlier today. Really inexpensive. So that link is in the description box if you're interested. But just in general, if you've got kids sets, try to look at them with a new eye, because I'm certainly not intending to use this for any kind of child audience. I just thought it made a cute party invitation, so that's why I did so many of them. So I'm trying to channel my pirate scribe who's making this rough map to where the treasure is, not overthinking the painting, and I am going to abuse the painting, as I said, so I don't want to put a huge amount of effort into it, and the style of the stamp is kind of cartoonish, but you think of our little pirate scribe. He's drawing the map. He's only got so many colors. He's only got so much time for subtlety. He just wants to tell you where to find the treasure. And so we're just giving the impression where there's land, where there's sand, where there are dragons, where the ship is, where the treasure is. Don't overthink it and get too far into the detail, because we're really going to crumple in sand and ink blend and everything on top of this. So I just did a little suggestion of sand around the skull and at the beaches. Did a little suggestion of green where we didn't have sand. A little suggestion of trees. And then I did mix up a little really faint blue paint, a little blue-green paint, to kind of distinguish the mountains from the background there. But no subtlety, no real painting skill involved here. Just having fun, little relaxing watercolor. Enjoyable way to spend half an hour. I really enjoy watercolor though. Okay, so now I've got my 4 paintings, and I'm going to take my vintage decal scissors. You could also tear, that would be perfectly fine. And now I'm going to crumple up the painting. So I want this to look like an old map. And so old maps get folded and unfolded and refolded, and they get a little brown on the edges, and they get dirty, and they get spatters, and so a little brown ink blending around the edges. And then since I got out my decal scissors, I'm actually getting out my old sanding blocks. I know that one sanding block is from a scrapbook company that's long since gone out of business, but a little scrap of sandpaper, or even a sanding block meant for working on fingernails, would work perfectly fine. This step is also optional. I just did a little sanding straight on the face of the watercolor painting, stamped image, and a little bit on the edges to kind of rough them up and make everything look a little bit more worn. I think a little water spatter would have worked here. And then you can see kind of the aged version against the clean version, and I do think that the distressed version looks good. So here it is made into a card. Thanks for joining me today.